We talked last our last conversation was about, the difference between like mentorship and sponsorship, right?
Correct.
Can you walk me through the differences in your opinion, Kamara?
Sure. And there is a difference. And again, when we talk about um, backtracking over the years in human resources, back in the day, it was very difficult to find a human resources mentor. It's always been a difficult field to get into, but once HR leaders got their foot in the place, uh, a lot of them did not reach back and they were not willing to be a mentor because simply they were glad to be at the table. So they didn't want to risk their footprint in the company by trying to mentor someone younger in their career who may not be on point across the board. For me, being a mentor is bringing someone younger in the field who may have less knowledge. So this may be a new grad. It could be someone that's still an undergrad. It could even be someone who is working on a graduate degree but doesn't have a lot of day-to-day real life experience. And so you're mentoring them, you are meeting with them regularly and routinely, understanding what their day to day challenges are, and offering tips, strategies, support structures for them as they navigate everyday landmines that we in HR have to navigate effectively. A sponsor is not only that person who will bring you along so that you can learn the business of human resources and then be able to soar after you have established that groundwork and that framework. The sponsor is the person that speaks for me when I'm not in the room. When we were
Mm,
talking sort of off camera and candidly, for me, a sponsor is somebody that not only checks the box, but they check for me. And that's what the young folks say. And by
that's right.
checking for me, for those who have not heard that phrase, it means that you're thinking about me, you're processing what I'm doing, you're watching me, you're understanding how I move and groove. And that's not a negative thing per se, because as a sponsor, I need to analyze where you are in your career so that I can help you move to the next level. And by doing so, if I'm a decision maker, when there are opportunities for you to shine, I'm going to offer your name up. So if that means
Yeah,
to lead a project, to lead an initiative, to be a spokesperson, to be on a panel, I'm going to identify maybe even what I'm going to call a non-traditional leader. There are a lot of quiet folks who are on point. They don't like to be on Front Street. But if they have an excellent sponsor, that sponsor is going to encourage them to step outside of their box. A closed mouth does not get fed, as my grandmother says. So if you want to succeed in business, and obviously human resources is the business of people,
that's
then
right.
you have to understand advocating for yourself. Because if I don't advocate for myself, who is?
That's
If
right.
I don't try to identify paths to success and then connect with people who can help me get there, then I'm going to end up being at the lower level of the HR food chain and not be a decision maker. And anybody that gets in human resources who says, I am people focused, it's about the people, I need to be a decision maker. So that is more than my executing day to day operations, which is absolutely necessary. But if I'm a decision maker, I'm making decisions that impact my entire workforce strategically. So
You,
in my mind, that's what a sponsor is versus just a mentor.
you said a couple of things. First, like I I remember hearing that term sponsorship and in contrast to mentorship, and I was like, what is this? What is that? What do they mean? And they are completely different. You know, they're similar. They first cousins, right?
Right.
They there's a lot of the same things, but you do need people to sort of speak for you, especially for those that may be a little more introverted, a little bit more,
Yes.
you talked about who's going to speak up for you. I always say hard work does not speak for itself. It's too busy
Correct.
working,
That's right.
but somebody needs to you need to do your best to self-advocate.
Yes,
But also, man, does it not make such a huge difference for someone they're in those rooms, bringing your name up, bringing attention to the work that you do? And I would encourage anyone who has these opportunities to make sure that they're helping other folks get in position so that if you don't have if you're a true leader and you don't have leaders sort of following you and ready to take your place,
correct.
I would argue that you got to do some different type of leading.
I agree.